Out now at Easter Road. Let's go there live. Hibs Rangers match commentator Jerry McNee.
For the second time in 24 hours, Edinburgh hosts a match of huge importance. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Easter Road as Rangers again are faced with the task of shaking off a determined Celtic challenge for the title. And there's also the important matter of Hibs chasing a place in Europe. Well, let's have another look at the teams. The Hibs line-up, first of all, they make two changes following their 2-1 win here over Falkirk last week. David Farrell and Mickey Weir get starting places at the expense of Kevin McAllister and Gareth Evans. And Rangers, well, they've really decided to go for it this afternoon. There's no caution in that lineup, just millions of pounds worth of talent. There'll be plenty of width from Laudrup and Van Vossen, and a new goal threat from Eric Anderson. Well, there's Jim Leighton, who did so much to get Scotland to Euro 96. He now has 71 caps, but his mind today will be in points and not losing a goal. And there's Eric Anderson. Well, he's comfortable on either foot, particularly good on the left side. Cost just over £1 million from the Danish side, Aalborg. And alongside me, as ever, the man who loves to say good afternoon to everyone, Charlie Nicholas.
Good afternoon, everyone, including you, Jerry. Yes, the pitch is perfect today. Another tense game for Rangers, with Celtic having a marvellous result against Hearts, keeping the pressure on, and the pitch is looking perfect. It's been watered slightly on top. In Easter Road, the pitch itself seems to be at best when it's not got so much grass on it as it has today. So another exciting game in store.
So the match referee just coming out, Willie Young from Clarkston, who was in charge here last time the clubs met, when Rangers won by 4 goals to 1. So Easter Road really filling up for this match, the 80th Premier Division meeting between the clubs. And Richard Gough will be delighted to be coming back into the side at such a crucial stage, chasing his 8th championship medal. And Walter Smith, well, sometimes people accuse him of being cautious with his team lineups, but that certainly cannot be said today. And you can just imagine Rangers attacking down the flanks and trying to get in some quality crosses to this new striker.
Undoubtedly, he looks very mobile. I've been watching the warm-up with yourself, Jerry. He looks mobile. I think Walter, in fairness to him last weekend, I think he had problems with Van Vossen's fitness, and he decided to be a little bit cautious because of that. And now he's got tremendous options with Laudrup, Van Vossen wide positions, and now it'll be interesting to see how Anderson's going to stand up to the Scottish game.
Alec Miller, the Hibernian manager, is a lot happier with his players these days. He says they're more relaxed and confident again. They had to get back to basics after some poor results, but he's got them well fired up for this one. It will be Rangers to kick down the Easter Road slope. So a fine atmosphere inside the ground. Let's hope it stays that way. And Rangers prepare to kick off. So away we go. And it's an early touch for Gordon Petric. Across to McLaren. Here's Robertson. Again, his pace will be vital in this match already. He's sprinting forward. He links ever so well with Laudrup. Here's Robertson again, laying it off to McCall. Gascoigne. This is Petric. A little touch to Laudrup, who's started on the right-hand side. Gascoigne, already getting some treatment from the Hibs fans. A touch there. First touch for Anderson. That's Hibs picking up the play through Michael O'Neill. Again, he's a player that they'll be looking to this afternoon, as they will to Darren Jackson, who tends to raise his game, particularly against the Old Firm, but just raising it too much there. And the free kick goes Rangers' way. Stuart McCall in the end of that one, who had to pass a fitness test this morning. So again, it's Hibs pushing forward. Sent in by Miller. Challenge going in from Keith Wright, and an early touch for Andy Gorham. So the two top goalkeepers on display this afternoon. There's Darren Jackson. Through now for Mickey Weir. And taken out of the play by Richard Goff. Free kick. And a word of warning from referee Willie Young for the Rangers skipper. Completely blocked on that. So Hibs showing plenty of determination. And forward goes Joe McLaughlin. And Tweed's up there as well. So there's plenty of height for Hibs to push forward to the set pieces, but nothing coming of that. And here's Laudrup. Van Vossen had made a bit of space ahead of him there, but Hibs will get players back now. It's played to Robertson. So, turned by McLaren. Van Vossen battles hard, but so too does Darren Jackson. Good play by the Hibs man. A long one forward now for Mickey Weir to chase, but Gordon Petric was always comfortable there. He had a couple of shaky moments last week at the Todray. And that's a rather slack one from him.
Yeah, I'm always interested in the position that Petric takes up. Since he's went to Rangers at Dundee United, he was renowned as the spare man. The game suited him that way because he's a particularly good passer, other than that one you've just seen. But Goff particularly likes to be spare now. And I think at times he would prefer to be the guy who's not got a forward to pick up. And I think that this at times just gives him a few problems.
Well, we're talking about David Farrell before kick-off as well, Charlie.
Yeah.
Against Celtic at Parkhead, he played in a deep position behind the markers, but he's in the midfield area this afternoon, obviously.
Yep.
There's guys in there like Stuart McCall and Paul Gascoigne, and he'll want to shut them down.
Yeah, well, that's another interesting one, Jerry, because he's played deep in that role. I thought he might have picked up Gaza today, but it looks as if, fair credit to Alec Miller also, it looks as if he's got an attacking formation out, and I think we're going to see a very open game the way things have shaken up so far.
Rangers have a better goal difference than Celtic at the moment. They'll want to add to that as they go for the 3 points here this afternoon. And this is Anderson, but, just over hitting that one. Maybe just a bit.
I think he just had a few extra shredded wheat there this morning, Jerry.
Petric moves well forward. That's a good header from him. Van Vossen again, though, high and wide. So Rangers still have to settle. Hibs are showing a lot of determination in these opening spells. The Rangers have lost just twice in the last dozen visits here on Easter Road. But last season, they had their work cut out for them, and they failed to register a win. So, despite the fact they've had the upper hand in Hibs this particular season, they know that they're in for a bit of a battle here. Goff climbing for that one. Turned by Farrell. This is Jackson. It's another good touch by Jackson. It's played through by Mitchell. This is McCall. Didn't quite catch that one properly. That was Willie Miller to clear. Now it's McGinley. He's playing with confidence here. Mitchell threads it through, looking for O'Neill. Across comes Petric. Goff has already been signalling to Petric to stay in fairly tight. He doesn't want him dragged into those wide areas too often. This is Mitchell. Away by McLaren. Not very effectively though. Turned by Farrell. This is Keith Wright getting a touch, and McLaren was under pressure there from Mickey Weir. And it was Keith Wright who got his head to that ball. Goram wasted no time with the clearance, but let's have it again. It's cleared by Moore, picked up by McCall. Now it's Laudrup. Petric. Cross to McLaren. Robertson's away ahead of him, but quickly closed down by Pat McGinley. So a few of the early passes going astray.
They're just playing about with each other at the moment. I think they're just getting probably used to each other's system here. Probably, as I said earlier, with Gascoigne expected to get picked up. I think the big day for Anderson will mainly be about the mobility that he's got. You know, he's got to move these two big tall centre-halves, and I think that's what Rangers probably missed when Hateley, he probably in his early days at Rangers was giving them so much of.
It's a good interception by Petric. This is Van Vossen. Hibs players snapping away at his heels though, both Darren Jackson and Mickey Weir. Now it's Michael O'Neill. Touch from right. Darren Jackson. Mickey Weir tries to break through, but Petric was there, so too was Moore. Now it's Laudrup. Putting away from Farrell. Lovely touch by Laudrup. It's McCall across now to Robertson. Forever running forward in support. Look at the ground, Laudrup's made up, popping up now on that left-hand side. Getting in the cross, and Gascoigne there. Challenge at the last moment. And it goes behind for the corner. Two Rangers.
It was a great move, great stuff from Laudrup. I tell you, Stephen Tweed does really well. I'm not sure whether he actually got the touch, but he did. Great defender from Stephen Tweed there.
Just in ahead of Gascoigne, who's on the ball now. They gave it away, almost got it back. Well, Hibs are trying to break here, but they need players forward. Michael O'Neill starts a run there to try and support Mickey Weir, but too many Rangers players around him. It's clipped through by Van Vossen. Well, it's going along at a fair old pace. This is Mitchell. McLaren gets there just ahead of Weir. This is Petric. McCall. Through for Laudrup. Trying to find an opening here. Sending it through, looking for McCall! And so unlucky. The ball going just behind. So unlucky. Great running that by McCall. Great awareness by Laudrup. And the ball drifting just past the post.
Yeah, it was a tremendous move. Here's Laudrup looking at Anderson. Also conscious of McCall making the run. This is a great touch. It was also interesting to watch Anderson drag well a centre-half away from his space. You see him as Laudrup gets the ball here. He just peels off and goes the other side of the defender. He creates a space for McCall. Very unlucky.
So Laudrup looking very much in the mood. Little touch there by Keith Wright. This is Van Vossen. Goes down by Miller and McGinley. Van Vossen digs in well, and to the extent that the decision goes Rangers' way. It's thumped upfield by McLaughlin. Well, Hibs will be keen to settle again and get a few victories under their belt. They've used no fewer than 13 different defenders this season, which certainly hasn't helped Jim Leighton, who's lost more goals this season than he has than any other during his career. It's really been a big problem for them.
Yeah, it's been a massive problem. You've had people like Pat McGinley, who's a really influential midfield player, can get you probably a dozen goals a season from that role. But I mean, a lot of this season he's been playing right back, so it just shows you that the problems Hibs have had.
And problems sometimes that fans don't appreciate, and they start to put the manager under pressure. So it's just over 10 minutes gone here at Easter Road. There's still no scoring as Gascoigne tries to get forward. That was a fine challenge by McGinley. Played through by O'Neill, cut out by McLaren. This is McCall. Petric. Laudrup. Moore has started a run ahead of him. Gascoigne's there as well. This is Gascoigne. That's a corner kick. Gascoigne tried to thread that one through. The challenge came in. The ball's behind. It's a corner to Rangers. Jim Leighton's not a happy man, but the referee, who was well up for play, immediately pointed out towards the corner flag. You can see everything's going to be contested here this afternoon. So this is the signal for Petric to move forward. And Richard Gough was up there as well, so too does McLaren. There's a real aerial threat here. And it's Gough who made the challenge. Cleared upfield by Miller. And McCall's happy to take the throw in. There's Robertson. Getting away from Darren Jackson and Keith Wright. Cross for Van Vossen. Gascoigne. Robertson kept the run going. Through now for Anderson. And, he's challenged there effectively by Stephen Tweed. That's Robertson to take this one. Same towards Anderson, but easily cleared by Hibernian. Followed by Robertson. Breaks away now to McCall. Laudrup. And taken out of the play there by Michael O'Neill. But looking very much in the mood.
Yeah, he looks as if he's up for the game. He looks as if he's going to get maybe a bit of space today, and he's going to thrive in it. I think if Hibs will pay a bit more attention to him when he is again.
Weir goes into challenge, but that's a good play by Laudrup. Van Vossen was claiming he was impeded there on the edge of the area, but the referee was play on. This is O'Neill, he's caught by Moore, now it's Gascoigne, Moore again. And the offside flag goes up. Well, the linesman took his time about that. Gascoigne played it through there. And the ball was well in the air as the flag went up. And you get the feeling these days that a lot of linesmen are flagging as the player breaks as opposed to when the ball is actually played. So Goff's head out, but he gets a free kick also. The challenge illegal there from Keith Wright. And Gascoigne takes it quickly, but just too quickly. Not too happy, the Rangers crowd not too happy with the referee there. This is McCall, it's given away to Darren Jackson, through now for Mickey Weir. It's Jackson again. Now it's Weir, right on the edge of the area. That was David Robertson who made the challenge. Breaks away to O'Neill. And cleared by Goff. Miller challenge as well. Goff's under pressure here from McGinley. That's McLaren. Gascoigne. Gascoigne did well there because he was very quickly closed down by Farrell. He still managed to get the ball out to Craig Moore. Laudrup. Nice turn away from Farrell. Robertson's available. Van Vossen's ahead of him. Breaks now to Gascoigne. He's surrounded though by Hibs players. He's claiming a free kick there, but then the referee waves play on. This is Mickey Weir turning well and getting the free kick conceded by Alan McLaren. Well, the referee having to award a number of free kicks, and one or two players will have to be just a little bit careful.
I don't think there was much in it, to be honest, and I actually thought Mickey Weir had the advantage. I think he'd more or less turned in a decent position for Hibs, and I thought the ref could have maybe just let him play on there and get the advantage of it.
Well, Joe McLaughlin has pushed forward. Stephen Tweed's up there as well. It's Willie Miller who takes it. Just runs away from McLaughlin. Former Falkirk player who moved here just a few weeks ago. Now it's Gascoigne for Rangers. To McCall. Gascoigne again. Well, a late challenge on him there by Keith Wright. I don't think the referee spotted it. So led off by Anderson. This is Moore. So it's cleared by Mitchell. Done by McLaren. McLaughlin's clearance, a touch by Wright, and The referee now is going to have a word with Keith Wright.
I think it was a late challenge on Gascoigne. Just having a word with him to calm him down.
I think there was also the use of a hand there by Keith Wright. It's a free kick to Rangers, but I think you're right, Charlie. The referee was also having a word about his late challenge just a few moments earlier. Just calming things down. Victor Goff was well forward there, but that one comes off him and out for the throw to Hibernian. Pulled through by Miller. Well, Goff was always going to get that one against Weir. This is Robertson. Gascoigne. And again, you see David Farrell doing a good job there closing him down, but the referee, there was a free kick to Rangers. Farrell is complaining that Gascoigne lifted his arms. He made the challenge there, and Farrell appealed to the referee, but the free kick was given the other way.
Well, I've got to go along with the referee again. I think he got it right. I think people in this country always seem to think that when a talented player has the ball, that a defender, a midfield player can pressurise him and kick him, and it's acceptable. As you see somebody like Gascoigne try to protect, you say, okay, there's occasions where he uses his elbows when he shouldn't. I think something like that, he's just trying to protect the ball.
I think Willie Young there just saying to Gascoigne that it's all right, he had a close grip on things, and it's good to see a referee speak to a player in those conditions.
Yes, it's nice to see that. Hibs could do with Michael O'Neill involved a bit more, Jerry. I think he's a player who, I think, always gets these Hibs supporters excited when he's on the ball. You feel as if, a bit like Laudrup, he can do something different. I'd like to see if he could get on the ball and create a bit of danger for Hibs.
It's significant that last season when Laudrup was asked to name a few players in the Premier Division that he rated, O'Neill was high on that list. And this is Keith Wright trying to get forward now, and Goff's there ahead of him. And the header allows the keeper to comfortably pick up the ball. And it's quickly played out to Alan McLaren. Through for Van Vossen. Robertson is racing ahead of him. So Darren Jackson sticks a boot in. Long clearance from Andy Gorham. It turns out to be a very good one. It's McCall playing it through, looking for Laudrup. Showing great pace, but Joe McLaughlin used all his experience there. Didn't dive in, just timed it nicely. McCall, Gascoigne trying the shot, always wide of target, but no harm in having a go, and certainly his scoring rate has been excellent. He's struck 12 times, including once from the penalty spot, and 4 of his goals have come in the past 4 matches. He really does seem to be settling down. So it's just over 20 minutes gone here at Easter Road. Still no scoring. And that's the header from Graham Mitchell. Touched by Goff. And miscue there by McCall. But Goff's there again to close things down. It's played to Moore. It's a good play by Craig Moore, getting away initially there from Graham Mitchell. Through now to Van Vossen. And Anderson just beaten to that one. It wasn't the best of balls to him. It allowed McLaughlin to get away. And here is Michael O'Neill. Sending in the cross, the header going in there from Keith Wright. Well, if you're getting a bit of power in that one, might have troubled Andy Gorham, but he certainly got a little bit of space there, and the cross floated in.
Yeah, it's a good cross. It's the area we talked about where Petric probably isn't at his most comfortable. And Michael O'Neill on the ball. It's a good ball in for Keith Wright. It was a hard header to take. He's got to put the power on it, but at least it's encouraging to see O'Neill attack an area where Rangers, I think, ain't really at their best sometimes.
It's a long one from McLaren. And McLaughlin copes with that well. Touch from Darren Jackson. Well, O'Neill's first touch let him down there, but the break of the ball goes Hibs' way. This is McGinley. Through now looking for Keith Wright, and Petric is there, just to do enough. That's Robertson. Right, that was just too far ahead of him, but McLaren backs up well. Oh, it's being fiercely contested out there. Here's Jackson. Well, the Hibs fans are pretty happy with their team at the moment. This is Mitchell. And the referee has awarded a free kick. Craig Moore there, making the challenge. The referee had spotted an infringement, and he's awarded the free kicks again. Hibs push players forward. A few of the tall defenders up there. McLaughlin, Tweed. A fair bit of movement now inside the area as the ball's delivered, and it's Goff there with McLaren. They get it away. Miller to Jackson. It's off the head of Petric, but a bit of leaning there by Keith Wright. Again, the referee was right on the spot and immediately awarded the free kick. This is McCall for Rangers. Well, McCall's the man who came closest to breaking the deadlock when they ran into a superb through ball from Laudrup to send the ball just past the post. It was rather unlucky. And here he is again, still pushing forward. Looking influential in this Rangers midfield this afternoon. It's laid off by Van Glossen, picked up now by Gascoigne. Robertson starts running forward. Still it's Gascoigne stepping away from Darren Jackson. Good solid challenge going in there though from Pat McGinley. Gascoigne. Laudrup. And the free kick awarded. Laudrup impeded there. Well, the referee's right on top of these situations. It's a nice change of direction there, a bit of pace, and he was clearly held. And really young. He's handling this match well, keeping a tight grip on things. So Jim Leighton lines up the defensive wall. And Gordon Petric is close to the ball. He can certainly crack them. Richard Goff moves towards the edge of the area. So it's Petric who comes forward, but he was always underneath that one. He certainly struck it with plenty of power, but high over the top.
Yeah, leaned well back in it. He's went for power rather than worrying about keeping the ball down. You see, it's always on the rise. It was a good sorry, I couldn't even spit out there. Good opportunity there for Rangers. They were patient. They held the ball on, and Hibs defenders were just sitting in a bit deep. And if they tend to do that, then Gascoigne and Laudrup will eventually get hold of it again. They must push out now.
Gascoigne loses out to Weir, and Goff certainly held the Hibs player there, Michael O'Neill, and Goff's already been warned. He's rather fortunate to be getting away with this because he's already committed a similar kind of foul. So the Rangers skipper gets his final warning. This time he's in definite trouble. The message was there from the referee. So perhaps a chance here for Hibernian to do something. And it's Andy Gorham's turn to organise the defensive wall. And it's Goff there who makes amends by clearing that one, but it's picked up now by Darren Jackson. But there's no one attacking in that area. The ball was always too high, too powerful, and it's behind for the goal kick.
I'm enjoying the game. I think it's a decent game. I think they're both trying to play the right way. It's fairly open, although there is a few heavy tackles coming in now and then. I think both teams are just lacking that final ball at the moment. It's just when they get to vital areas, nothing's really come in properly yet. And I think other than Laudrup, who has had a couple of tremendous dribbling runs, Everything else is just keep falling down when it gets to the vital areas.
Touch on there by Craig Moore. It's away by Mitchell. Touch by David Farrell. And this is dropping in behind the Rangers defence, but McLaren managed to get back. Goff was under serious pressure there. This is Willie Miller for Hibernian. Through now for Weir. Again, it's Willie Miller, well forward. Goff's header. Finds Gascoigne. Now it's Laudrup. This is Van Bossen. And good challenge there by Miller. Well, you saw Miller attacking just a few moments ago, and they get back there to make a good challenge because Rangers had a break on. But here they come again. McCall plays it across to Craig Moore. Sweeps it away to the far side, but that drops between Anderson and Laudrup, and Hibs clear it comfortably. And this is McGinley. Another long, high one. It's Keith Wright with Richard Goff here. And the Rangers skipper has taken a knock as he headed that one behind. Well, the two players jostling all the way. Goff decided to concede the corner, and that's a bad one there. Right in the face. But he's back on his feet. And the free kick has been awarded. Well, he had decided that he was under so much pressure we'd have to head it out for the corner, and he was caught there by the high boot.
Yeah, it's a typical piece of Goff defending. A determined striker, a Keith Wright, determined to get there and work Goff all the way. And he's simply trying to get the ball there. There's no malice in the challenge. It's probably typical. Look like Richard Goff, he probably gets them every day in training, never mind in matches. You know, big Alec McLeish has got plenty.
And it shows. Anyway, it's cleared now by Willie Miller. That's high onto the stand roof. So just made a picture, Goff and McLaren, and a bit of a conflab there. Just getting things sorted out, and one or two long high balls being played out of the Hibs defence have been causing a few problems. This is Gascoigne. Across now to Petric. That's Laudrup. And away there by Mitchell. Goff in the thick of things again. Gascoigne wanted too much time there, and he's not going to get it in this particular match. This is Miller. McGinley. Miller again. Keith Wright. Good play by Hibs. Darren Jackson. Across now to Mitchell. This is O'Neill. Weir. And a good challenge here by McLaren. Now the brakes on for Laudrup. It's left there by Van Bossen. Through looking for Anderson, but Jim Leighton comes sprinting out of his goal. Well, I wonder what Derek Anderson makes of it all so far. It's certainly been frantic. It's Farrell playing it through. Again, it's Goff with Wright. Gascoigne. A bit of slackness there. Looks away now to Weir. For Darren Jackson, who made the initial challenge there on Gascoigne. Play on, says the referee. It's half an hour gone. We're still waiting on the first goal. It's Hibs are trying to get it here. But a bit of dithering by Weir as he tried to lay that one off to O'Neill. And now it's Anderson for Rangers. Through for Laudrup. Van Bossen's going through the middle. Craig Moore's in a lot of room on the far side of the field. Brilliant play there by Laudrup. Still it's Laudrup. And it's an own goal. Well, what a blunder there. Graham Mitchell and Jim Leighton getting into a tangle. And the ball ended up the back of the net. It was glorious play by Laudrup just before that, showing marvellous close control. He was absolutely surrounded, as you can see there, by Hibernian players. He played it into the middle, and Jim Leighton there completely beaten by Mitchell. Did his best to get to it. The goalkeeper tried his best to keep it out there, but Graham Mitchell, an own goal.
It with magical play from Laudrup. We won earlier on, 5 minutes ago, we were telling about Laudrup's dribbling skills. All in evidence there. Graham Mitchell is a difficult one for the defender to try and clear. He really can only get a touch on it, but he's left his goalkeeper with absolutely no chance. Just down to the brilliance of Laudrup.
So Alec Miller looks on anxiously.
You know, it'll be interesting, Jerry, with Anderson arriving now. There's another Dane coming. Whether Laudrup will maybe even settle further in the Rangers team, because although they reckon he's going to stay another year, maybe they would like him to stay. Well, they probably would like him to stay longer. Whether another Dane coming would help him.
So he added that year to his existing contract, which keeps him at Ibrox until June 1998, and that can only be very good news for Rangers. But meanwhile, it's not so good for Hibs. David Farrell has taken a knock. There's no doubt, Charlie, that Brian Laudrup has been showing again in recent weeks the kind of form he showed throughout last season. I mean, he did have that injury spell at the start of the season. It's taken him time to get back.
Yeah, well, it always does. I mean, these type of players who play in the wide positions, and we want to see their dribbling skills. Now, this is the hardest thing in the game to do in the modern game, because it takes so much physical effort out of you, and this guy does it just about every time he gets the ball. So it does take him a bit longer sometimes than other players to get back, but now that he's back, I mean, okay, it's an unfortunate thing for Hibs today, but Laudrup has been the one outstanding player in view at the moment. Every time he's got the ball, he's looked threatening.
So hopefully David Farrell can continue here. He's back on his feet, and yeah, he's okay. So the match will restart with the free kick to Hibernian to be taken by Graham Mitchell, who scored that own goal just a few moments ago. And he lofts a high one in. Goff's above them all there. A little help from Petric. A touch away there by Robertson. Here's Willie Miller. That was a crushing blow there for Hibs, no doubt about that. Just at a time when they were starting to occasionally pressure the Rangers defence. Richard Goff had a couple of anxious moments, so too had Gordon Petric. But now Hibs have it all to do, and of course they've already lost 11 goals to Rangers this season. So it's played in by Miller, touch through by Weir, away by Goff. McLaughlin's well forward. This is Gascoigne who gets the touch, and the break's certainly on here. It's Van Vossen. Laudrup stays right, Anderson stays left. It's played through towards Laudrup. Again showing great pace going down that slope. Does well just to keep that ball in play. But Mitchell did well. Here's Petric, and that's out for the throw to Hibernian.
It wasn't a particularly good pass from Van Vossen. He kind of delayed it just a bit. I think Laudrup prefers it to get it as early as he can, to run at the defender there rather than waiting for the defender to come.
We were just talking before the game, Charlie, as well, about the ball being played down the slope, just how much more difficult they can make it. But here's Hibs trying to get forward. The offside flag though goes up on the far side. Really young assisted this afternoon by George Clyde from Bearsden, who's on that main stand-side side, and Bob Gunn from Dundee. The fourth official is John Robotham. This is McCall to Gascoigne. So it's Gascoigne trying to forge a way through, and he's got the free kick just outside the penalty area. And Mickey Weir looks on rather unhappily. But this could be a real chance now for Rangers to put themselves very much in the driving seat. They're leading by 1 goal to 0. They've got players who can certainly strike it from this range. Leighton steadies himself. Gascoigne's there. He's hit some great free kicks this season already. And there goes another one. It's deflected! And inches past the post. Jim Leighton scrambling there. It's deflected behind for the corner kick. It's coming off the defender, and Leighton was really in trouble there. So the upshot, there's a corner to Rangers, which is taken by Laudrup. Breaks out now to Van Vossen. Craig Moore pops up on that left side. It loses out now. McGinley trying to get forward, and he's fouled there. Hibs have the free kick, just about midway inside their own half. Long wing play forward there by Joe McLaughlin. McLaren's there. McLaren who had an outstanding game last week at Pittodrie. Gascoigne playing right across field now. It's picked up by Craig Moore. Here's Gascoigne. Moore. Gascoigne again. Laudrup. Great first touch again by Laudrup, just so aware, and the header going in there from Anderson, but Laudrup at the tightest of situations, he just seems to know where every defender is placed, and the first touch again, they got him that bit of space to release across.
Great awareness, he's got, as well as his skill, his control, he's got great awareness of people coming round about him, and that's why he's so difficult to mark. It's just a one touch and suddenly he's on it, and suddenly he's trying to make a chance for Anderson. So far, he's been a one guy, been outstanding so far, and in all departments he's played, not just his dribbling skills, but he's passing too.
So a real crunch challenge there, and the physios are being called on. And again, Richard Goff is in the wars, and himself and Keith Wright having a real battle here this afternoon, and a real clash there.
Yeah, it's typical of these two again. I think we're going to see this the whole of the afternoon between these two. It's where his aerial threat from Keith Wright. He's also on the deck. He's a running striker, likes corners. He's to run into the corners, and Goff will never give up. Keith Wright is probably the same type of character, so for the whole 90 minutes we'll see typical stuff of this.
So he's back on his feet, ready for more. So it's Graham Mitchell over the ball. Leading to Joe McLaughlin, but Gordon Petrich is there. And it's Robertson now to Laudrup. Laudrup's really enjoying himself out there this afternoon. Here he is again. We're looking for Robertson. That's good play. Robertson, Gascoigne, and Laudrup in the tightest of situations. Well, Rangers are claiming a free kick as David Robertson went down there, challenged by Willie Miller. And there's certainly a suggestion of the use of an elbow, but the referee wasn't interested. The Rangers player still on the deck as play goes on. This is Mitchell. Still Robertson is on the deck, and Laudrup has dropped back into the left back area to provide some cover. So the referee is now allowing some treatment to the Rangers fullback. But certainly the crowd were howling, and there was a suggestion of the use of an elbow by Willie Miller. But the referee just shook his head and went play on. So we're just under 5 minutes of this first half left here at Easter Road. Hibernian 0, Rangers 1. And here is the incident. There'd been some delightful play involving Robertson, Laudrup and Gascoigne, and certainly it appeared as though Miller had caught him with the elbow, but he's recovered now, and it's a throw-in to Hibernian, and it's sportingly returned there to Andy Gorham. Well, Andy Gorham still the top man in Scotland. 19 shutouts he's had this season, made 8 of them in a row. So Moore showing determination. It's cleared by Mitchell. Here's Gascoigne. Now it's Craig Moore. High one in, and it goes just beyond Anderson. It's McLaughlin who gets it away. But Anderson seemed to get a bit of space there, and there was just too much in the cross for him. Here's Gascoigne. And as a free kick awarded, his jersey was pulled there by David Farrell. the referee certainly giving Paul Gascoigne the protection he's been demanding, and he gets the free kick there as he's challenged by the Hibs man. The referee just wants the two Hibs players there to retreat a bit. So Gascoigne to take it. The wall, the two-man wall does its job. This is McCall. McLaughlin who got it away. Touched by McCall. This is Laudrup. Again, Laudrup does well under pressure, but Van Vossen loses out. McLaren comes in to support though. And that's a free kick to Bernien's way. That's Stuart McCall who's on the deck. So McCall going into this one with McGinley, and certainly the Hibs player's arm catching him. But the referee had already awarded the free kick to Bernien's way. And there's a high ball played forward. It's away by McLaren. This is Darren Jackson. Good play by Jackson. Now it's Farrell. Anderson comes to challenge. This is Van Vossen. Now it's McCall. Switching it out to Craig Moore. Touch through now to Laudrup. Gascoigne runs ahead of him. He stabs it through now, looking for Anderson. And the cover was there. It was McLaughlin who got it away. It's played upfield by McGinley. Picked up by Petric. Just a couple of minutes of the first half left. Rangers continue to lead by 1-0. An own goal by Graham Mitchell after 30 minutes, after he was put under pressure by Laudrup. And it's Laudrup who wins the throw there into the challenge. The ball come off Willie Miller. So David Robertson, who can send the long ones in, elects to take this one. Saimed in towards Craig Moore. Mitchell was there. Played through by Darren Jackson. Goff challenges, now it's McCall. Gascoigne. McCall again. It's getting plenty of players behind the ball. Rangers being forced to backtrack a bit there. Now it's Robertson. Laudrup. Looking for Robertson again. And it's behind, and it's a goal kick. Well, the first half trying to close. Charlie, your overall thoughts?
Well, I think for the first 25 minutes or so it was a bit scrappy. Only Laudrup really the one outstanding player in view. But an unfortunate goal against Hibs, down to the skill of Laudrup. Unfortunate for Graham Mitchell. But I think Rangers probably deserve just to be in the lead.
But here come Hibs now in this final minute of the first half. Keith Wright delivers a cross. McLaren's in there again, settling to another fine game. And Mitchell stumbles at the vital moment. To throw to Rangers to be taken by McCall. Gascoigne. Well, a bit of a sclaff there by Andy Gorham. It's cleared by Moore. O'Neill comes in. That's just beyond Pat McGinley, and picked up now by David Robertson. Again, Laudrup makes himself available. Through now for Van Vossen, but the touch by him not a good one. He's got it back though. And it runs behind for the goal kick. So I see some activity over at the dugout there. John Brown is getting ready to come on. Richard Goff must be toiling after the two blows he took. One to the face and another just after, in fact, two clashes with Keith Wright. So John Brown is certainly getting ready to come on. You would imagine that Goff is struggling. He's signalling over towards the dugout, and in fact he's moved out to the left side of the field at the moment. Perhaps Hibs can cash in here. Goff can't even get back to defenders. Claims for a handball there against Robertson. The referee has pointed out towards the corner flag. But Robertson come back to make the challenge here, and that's certainly, the hand went up and the ball went behind. The referee pointed out towards the corner flag. But Rangers are trying to make that change now, but Hibs mounting that attack there as Richard Goff could clearly take no further part in the game. He's limping heavily. He's taken a couple of heavy blows, but those were to the head. And this is bad news for Rangers in the championship run-in. He's just come back today after injury, and once again, John Brown comes on to lend his experience. He was brought in again last week at Pittodrie. So Richard Gough is helped away. Hibs have the corner kick. Vigorum stays on his line. This is the Gascoigne. Eventually gets it away. So we've now played a couple of minutes of stoppage time. It's played through now, looking for Anderson. Now it's Laudrup, challenged by McLaughlin and by Miller. That's high into the stand. But Rangers will be anxious now. Richard Gough is hobbling down the trackside as the half-time whistle sounds. David Robertson is already suspended for the Old Firm match, and Richard Gough could well be struggling now. But Rangers are in the lead here at Easter Road. An own goal after 30 minutes by Graham Mitchell after Laudrup had put him under pressure. The half-time score here is Hibernian 0, Rangers 1.
Yes, a tough first half, as Jerry says. Rangers leading by a Mitchell own goal. Plenty to talk about at half-time. Join us after this break for first half analysis. Rangers over at Easter Road. Trevor, what do you make of the first 45 minutes?
It was a pretty even game up until the goal incident. Hibs were doing quite well, you know, playing some nice football, but didn't have that sort of lethal instinct in front of goal.
You don't fancy the surface too much, do you?
And I was saying that to you. It looks like one of those sunny afternoons in a bubbly pitch, and nobody can quite get it under control except Laudrup, it seems.
Yeah, yes, indeed. Alex, obviously, Stuart McCall, as usual, is in the mood, and he came very close very early on, didn't he?
It's scrappy stuff, Jim. You know, it's you know, Rangers have got a goal out of nothing really. And Stuart McCall's really unlucky here. It's a clever ball by Brian Laudrup, and he's made a good blindside run on the defender.
Stuart started his run there about on the halfway line. I think he delivered the ball into Laudrup and has continued it.
Oh,
and gone right through the heart of the defence.
Perpetual motion with McCall, you know, he's all over the pitch, and
yeah,
he chases things.
He's got some engine. Yep. Well, Laudrup involved there, and then Trevor Laudrup set up the goal. A bit freakish, obviously. It was a shame for Graham Mitchell, but still, Laudrup caused the damage.
That's right. You did have to feel sorry for Graham Mitchell, because he was marking Bo Anderson there. Pulled away at the back post, and he was caught in two minds. He didn't want to let the ball run, and I think you saw Jim Leighton's movements as well.
That's the difference, Trevor, isn't it? You know, the Laudrup guy's the difference. Quality player, world-class player. Yeah. Nothing between the teams at all, and Laudrup causes blind panic in Hibs defence here, and Mitch is unlucky to head into his own net. You know, maybe a different player delivered the cross then.
Yeah.
You know, he may have dealt with it better.
He created that opportunity really from nothing, as you say. And that has been the difference between the two teams.
We haven't seen Anderson too much, Trevor, but again, he was in the end of, inevitably, a Laudrup cross. Yep. What do you think of Anderson? How's he looking?
I've noticed some nice touches around his feet, and he's trying to use the ball as well as he possibly can. I mean, we're asking a lot for him to score from that position.
I like his hair, Jim. I like his hair.
Yeah.
It's a good colour.
He should fit in Scotland.
Red hair. Must be talented, Alex. Must be talented. Jim, inevitably a few incidents for you, mate. Gough has gone off. If anyone's just switched on, Richard Gough played the first 45 minutes, but he's off for the second half. He got a boot in the face. Now, we see this again. It didn't look much, but what would you have said something here to Keith Wright?
No, I don't think there was any intent, Jim, at all in the challenge. Foul, certainly, but no intent. High foot, nothing else. There was certainly contact, but
yeah, it's a split second.
I'm happy having seen that there was no intent whatsoever
on a few more incidents, Jim, for you after this break, and obviously that Richard Gough incident, we'll be talking about that in the forum later on. 0500 404 000 as usual. But time for another short break. As I say, we'll be back in a couple of minutes with the second half of Hibs against Rangers live from Easter Road. We've got to look at another incident here, another controversial one. Yeah. Willie Miller's elbow on David Robertson, did he mean it?
Yeah, first sighting, well, we didn't see it the first time. I think it was only on the replay, Jim, that we actually caught it. Clearly, Willie didn't see it.
Yeah.
There was no foul given. The linesman, neither of the linesmen saw it.
Yeah.
And play went on. It was only when it was rerun that we saw the actual impact of the...
Let's see it here again. There it is, Jim.
Yeah.
Well, he certainly smacked him. He went down.
He did, yeah.
What would you have done in that?
Well, if I had seen it, the decision you then have to make is, was it reckless, or was it in fact an intentional assault?
Yeah.
Difficult one to call.
It looked like a reckless assault to me.
You think, Trevor?
Yeah, it looks pretty blatant.
On your colleague.
Blatant,
yeah. Careful, Trev. Careful.
Ali, go.
Allegedly.
David Robertson involved again. Was it handball? Was it a penalty? Actually, no time for that because the teams have come out quicker than we thought. Yep. Let's go back over it. It's 1-0 Rangers. Back to you, Jerry.
And you rejoin us as the second half gets underway. And no changes in the Hibs lineup. As you saw just before half-time, John Brown had come on to replace Richard Gough, and Stuart McCall has taken over the captaincy. So Hibs now try to get themselves back into this game, and it's Farrell playing it through. It's picked up by O'Neill, and McCall made the challenge, and the ball breaks away to Laudrup. Van Vossen's well forward. There's Craig Moore running in support, but it's played through now to Anderson, and it's McLaughlin who makes the challenge. Still Anderson has it. And that's out of play for the throw to Rangers. Laudrup again doing well, but that one breaks away. It's picked up now by Pat McGinley. And Petric was in bother there, but McLaren is sitting in just behind him, providing the cover. And referee has a word there with Darren Jackson, and Rangers have the free kick, holding on there to Paul Gascoigne. Gascoigne caught there by Keith White, and the challenge going in from Petric. Both players are on the ground. The referee is allowing play to go on. And this is McCall. Petric going in hard there, but both he and Keith Wright are back on their feet as play continues. And this is Darren Jackson now for Hibernian. It's McGinley. Now it's O'Neill onto that left foot of his. McCall coming to charge that one down along with McLaren. It's played in now by Weir. Keith Wright's there, and Craig Moore did a good job. And it's Gordon Petric who knocks it clear. Well, Hibs are clearly wound up for this second half. And with Rangers losing Richard Gough, they perhaps sense they can do something here. But Craig Moore made a very good headed clearance, and that was Petric on that occasion. And here's Laudrup trying to get forward, still looking very much in the mood, and he has the throw in. And it's Darren Jackson. And the referee indicates a goal kick. And Darren Jackson showing great persistence here. It was Gordon Petric who blocked him. He got away from Laudrup initially, did Jackson.
It's a decent start to the second half for Hibs. Just raised the tempo a little touch. A good move down the right side. Pat McGinley, Darren Jackson interchanging there, and playing the passing game through them, which helped open Rangers up a little bit.
Well, the scoring of goals has been Hibs' biggest problem of late. Just 3 in the last 6 games, and that's something that is obviously still concerning the manager. In contrast, Rangers scored now 91 goals this season in all matches. But Hibs looking in the mood in these early stages, and well, the referee seemed to just reflect on that for a moment or two, and he's awarded the free kick to Hibernian, and Gordon Petric is yellow carded for handball. He's shown a lot of patience this afternoon, but he decided there to award the free kick. Gordon Petric came across there and clearly used a hand. So, for the pressure for Andy Gorham and his defenders. And Rangers defence having lost Gough now and Petric on that yellow card, so he'll have to be extremely careful. Again, it's McLaren, and touched by Brown. And it's out of play for the throw, just tight in against the corner flag. So Brown's header. Again, with a big responsibility now, McLaren, to hold things together. Well, it's Pat McGinley sending that one in. It's away by McCall. Here's Gascoigne. Just a bit sluggish in the first half, did Paul Gascoigne. And he's caught again there. The Hibs have the bit between their teeth here. John Brown challenges, and Pat McGinley showed persistence. Got the ball right into the hands of Andy Gorham, but you can sense, and the Hibs fans can sense, that there might be something on here. Yeah, they're certainly up to gear, and just giving Rangers one or two little problems now. I think it's interesting that you mentioned McLaren, I think, and Brown in particular. I still feel that for Rangers with a back three that Petric. Oh, here's a chance on for Keith Wright, and Andy Gorham does ever so well, but the flag was up just below us. But Keith Wright sprinting through there, Mickey Weir of all people getting the header on, but the flag went up against the Hibernian striker. It's a good effort. I just feel that Rangers are probably more comfortable, suited with Petric as the spare man. McLaren has been playing outstandingly well for Rangers in the last few weeks. Brown's always reliable, but McLaren and Brown prefer to pick up forwards, whereas Petric prefers to be the guy who's getting a bit more time. And I just think that's when they tend to look a little bit vulnerable when Petric has got to mark man-to-man. Here's Gascoigne. That's Moore. Darren Jackson digs in well. It's forward for Weir. Gascoigne comes in solidly, but Weir did his job. Now it's McGinley, and Hibs charging down this Easter Road slope. It's Willie Miller now. One away over to the far side, and Neil's coming in to meet it, and that's great handling by Andy Gorham under pressure. Well, even though the offside flag had gone up against Keith Wright just a few minutes earlier, Gorham still come out to make the save, and again, it shows great composure.
A lot of people say present time that he doesn't come for many crosses now, but today's a big important game that he must come for them, and he does very well there.
Well, the referee spots an infringement. Free kick to Rangers. But, Rangers will really have to dig into the resources this afternoon. You see the challenge going in there from Willie Miller. So it's Gascoigne over the ball as Leighton looks on. Flips it through, looking for David Robertson. Well, Pat McGinley complains to the referee that Robertson took a dive there. The referee just telling the Hibs man to calm down. Brown comes to attack this one. Does it well. It's away by Tweed. There's Keith Wright. Switch of play by O'Neill. Willie Miller does well, gets away from Van Vossen. Van Vossen digs in again though. Touched by Brown. And this is Robertson. And Laudrup just mistiming that one. Complete miscue there by Farrell. So we hear that the injury to Richard Goff is to his lower calf. He's still receiving treatment in the dressing room. And Rangers will be hoping that he's not out too long, having just come back today after injury. So that Rangers move breaks down for the throw-in.
Yeah, well, Richard Goff looked as if he was never out the team away. He came back, he was the same old self, typical leader, determined to get everything he could, and probably a sad sight for Rangers fans seeing him going off again.
And Old Firm games take care of themselves, Charlie, but Rangers will want to go into that with the 3-point cushion and the goal difference.
Well, of course, the way Celtic are playing, that's the thing. They're playing superbly well. Some great football, and it's at times that you need your leader on the pitch, and Goff has got all those qualities that help Rangers get results.
Well, John Brown there went in very solidly on Mickey Weir. The referee just checking the Hibs player, really caught him there. And looks as though Brown's getting away with it. Going in there and catching him.
I think he's actually caught him with his knees, left knee stuck into his ribs. Could be very pleasant for Mickey Weir.
So it's O'Neill who plays it through. Joe McLaughlin trying to get through there. It's Petric who got it away. Now it's Gascoigne playing it along the ground, trying to pick out Stuart McCall. But in comes Willie Miller for Hibernian. Now it's Tweed. O'Neill through for Jackson. Play by Brown. Touched by Robertson. This is Miller. A nice touch there by Michael O'Neill. Hibs want to see more of that. It's Miller providing the cross. And it was Mickey Weir coming in outside Aaron Jackson. Struggling to control that one. It was an awkward ball. Rangers scramble it away. This is Laudrup. Again showing great pace, running at the heart of the Hibernian defence. Van Vossen to his left. Laudrup tries to go all the way. It's a high, awkward one now for the Hibs defence, and McLaughlin does a wise thing. It's picked up now by Van Vossen. Oh, a lovely piece of skill there by him, getting away from Tweed. Providing the cross, Anderson's there. And so too is Moore, and it's Farrell who clears. That was a delightful piece of skill by Van Vossen to create the opening for the cross. They still have struggled to clear their lines, and the ball eventually goes behind, but it was a marvellous piece of skill in the left-hand side by Van Vossen to get away from his marker, and they provided the cross. Just coming in here, look at that. Round the defender, round Tweed, and then providing the cross.
Yeah, it was great skill from Van Vossen. Thought maybe Craig Moore could have shouted to Anderson a bit earlier. He came on and probably, he possibly would have won it. He's won it on a few occasions defensively.
And Jim Leighton wastes no time as Hibs pick up the play again through Willie Miller. McGinley's ahead of him. Plays it infield to Aaron Jackson. O'Neill's gone in a run through the middle. McLaren watches that one carefully. Clears it high in the air. It's McLaughlin ahead of Van Vossen. A touch now by Farrell. An awkward one again, but McLaren shows great awareness. Stays calm and heads the ball to his keeper. Van Vossen, it's Anderson who got the touch. Van Vossen tries one, but Stephen Tweed was there to block it. A touch now by McLaughlin. This is Jackson. Through now for Keith Wright. First touch by him. McLaren loses out there to Mickey Weir. Now it's McGinley. He's going to try one here, and David Robertson blocked it. It's Robertson under pressure, and that's behind for the corner kick to Hibs. And Stephen Tweed starts to move forward, so too does Joe McLaughlin. So a real battle in this second half. Rangers continue to lead by 1-0 and 1 goal by Mitchell in the first half. But Hibernian giving a far better account of themselves in this second 45 minutes. Certainly they'd played well up until they lost the goal. They've certainly picked it up again. It's Darren Jackson, but getting under that one.
Yeah, it was great skill from Jackson. Determined, defending again from John Brown and McLaren. Just watch his chest control. Lovely bit of skill, good balance. He just sends it too high. Good skill from Jackson.
Well, that replay was being shown. The referee was having a stern word with Alan McLaren. Headed on by Moore, touched by Anderson. Now it's Gascoigne. Caught there by Farrell. Gascoigne still looking a bit sluggish out there. A bit of jostling going on, and the free kick is awarded Rangers' way against Keith Wright. Walter Smith, meanwhile, has come down from his seat in the stand, and he'll be a bit anxious about the way that this second half has started.
I think he probably should be, because Laudrup's had some great runs again, carried on his form from the first half. Other than that, they're being pinned back a bit now by Hibs.
And here come Hibs again. It's Wright playing it through, looking for Weir. Brown's with him all the way, and thumps it high out of play. And you can just see there the determination in the face of Weir, anxious to get on with things. Stumble there, and the ball's out of play for the throw to Rangers. Well, it's always good to bring in a new player when you have injury problems, as Rangers have done with Anderson this afternoon, Charlie, but also bringing in new players at this time, it can be difficult for them to fit in as well. Well,
of course. I mean, it'll take him time to settle into the Scottish game. It does most of the European players. He'll be no different. He's looked decent in the air. He's been busy enough. He just hasn't probably got the service he's probably used to in Denmark.
So it's played now for Farrell. Hibs playing with great determination and great fight here, but still they trail by 1-0 to 0. So Neil trying to get forward. Petric is with him all the way. The ball goes behind, and the referee indicates the goal kick. And he's now having a word with the Hibernian player.
There's a lot of great scraps going out there. I mean, we mentioned Goff before he was off injured with Keith Wright. There's all over the pitch, there's great contest going on.
But again, Rangers, as they so often manage to do in the crunch games, they hold the lead, and they're having to battle to hang on to it at the moment. But they've got the players out here to do that. This is Gascoigne now, pushing through. It's Robertson! And Anderson was coming through in the far side as Robertson drove that one across.
Yeah, Gascoigne involved again. A great pass. Robertson at his best, running into the heart of the defence, and he's just looking for Anderson to maybe get a touch on that. Probably too much power on it for Anderson, but there you go. It's a right shot. It's across the keeper. Look for any takers.
So David Robertson there, firing it right across goal. The Christ has been out warming up, and so too is Miller. In fact, it looks more likely. Yep, Miller's getting ready to come on. Touch on by McGinley. It's picked up by Keith Wright, who's worked so hard all afternoon. And he's got the corner kick for Hibs, and once again, Tweed and McLaughlin move towards the edge of the penalty area. You can see the two tall Hibs defenders right on the line. And it's behind for another corner. It was Graham Mitchell almost making amends, but Stuart McCall was there to block him. Mitchell slamming the ball and almost making up for that to OG in the first half, and Stuart McCall took the full brunt of it. Well, Mitchell wants more than a corner, but that's all he's getting out of this. But the ball came across there, and Rangers defenders under a lot of pressure. And Joe McLaughlin was in the thick of it, and Stuart McCall went in bravely there. It's behind again. It's another corner to Hibs. Stephen Tweed causing problems. These are anxious moments for Rangers, of that there is no doubt. It's floated in by Weir. Gorham comes to meet it, punches it away. It's picked up by Gascoigne, and he's just holding it up because he'd only Laudrup ahead of him, and he was marked, and Gascoigne gets the free kick.
Clever play from Gascoigne. Rangers really under the cosh at the moment with a good delivery from Hibs. That one just hung up a little bit too high. Gascoigne clever enough. Doesn't want to pump the ball up the park just for the sake of it. Used his experience and his ability to get Rangers a free kick and take the pressure off.
McLaren who sends it through. It's headed away by McLaughlin. A touch by Gascoigne. Not a good one, no. Cleared by Mitchell. Only as far as Robertson. Here's Moore. Anderson getting little change out of Joe McLaughlin so far. But now it's Laudrup. We're looking for Robertson. Robertson with enough luck to do there. It's Farrell who emerges with the ball. It's watched carefully by Brown. Good touch by him. Now it's Gascoigne. Through for Petric. He's under pressure there from Weir. And now it's Moore turning away from Mitchell. Across comes Darren Jackson. And that's a free kick against Craig Moore. Tough earlier on about little personal battles going on there, and Van Vossen chasing up the field after Stephen Tweed and holding him back even before the kick's taken. John Brown's in the thick of it there. So too is McCall, and McCall did just enough to get that away, and he's got the free kick for Rangers. And McCall's having to drop deeper and deeper to help out his defence in the second half. So Rangers about to make a change. So Van Vossen is the man leaving the field, and Charlie Miller is waiting to come on. So Charlie Miller just coming up for 20 years of age, but already he's picked up a lot of experience. So he comes into the midfield area. Laudrup will push further forward. Free kick awarded. McLaughlin there making the challenge. Free kick to Rangers. And again, Willie Young right up with the play.
It's had an excellent match.
No hesitation from him. Apart from one occasion, he just had to think about things before he gave a free kick against Petric, and he booked him. But in the main, he's been right on top of this match. So it's Gascoigne running forward, strikes it well enough, and eventually it goes behind for the goal kick.
I think he's complaining about really the 10 yards. He doesn't think he's getting the 10 yards. No little complaint about that. Maybe Laudrup up front. I'll be interested to see Anderson. I think he's been finding it probably a bit strange to him just being the central guy on his own. With Laudrup beside him and the pace of him, he might be able to get a bit more of a build-up.
Important for Rangers to get service through from midfield at the moment. The midfielders are having to drop that bit deeper, but here's Robertson. Trying to play that to Laudrup. It's went beyond McLaughlin cleared. It's picked up now by Gascoigne. Rangers want to see more of him in the second half. Now it's Laudrup. Again, good skills by Laudrup, teeing it up for Charlie Miller. A great saving challenge there by David Farrell. Still Rangers have it though. Touched by Gascoigne, away by McLaughlin. But Gascoigne trying to get that one through there, and there's no doubt that Laudrup is feeling the pace now. He's done so much running in this game, and he's got a light sock. Well, it was rolled right now, he just pulled it up again, but he was certainly, he's feeling the pace and the pressure of this match now. This is Weir, out to the left now, to Michael O'Neill. O'Neill provides the cross, again it's McLaren. Picked up by McCall. Did well to get that away, closed down there by Farrell. This is Tweed, another high ball. Gordon Petric is there. Complete miscue by him, gets away with it. Keith Wright was running in to pressure him. And now Moore runs into trouble as well. And the free kick is given away. And the referee is running in just to calm things down here. But really, Rangers had opportunities to get that ball away. First of all, Petric and then Moore. And they did that. They've given away possession. And the free kick just in the line with the penalty area. So further pressure for them here. And again, Tweed and McLaughlin are up there, and Mitchell has arrived as well. And he's certainly keen to get something back after his own goal. He's already come close and was just thwarted by McCall. In comes the cross. Again, it's McLaren. It's Darren Jackson trying to find the way through. And Rangers scramble it clear. A number of bodies inside that area. Just about everyone there, but now Rangers on the break. Gascoigne's going in a great run here. He's well spotted by Charlie Miller. And down he goes, it's a penalty. He played the little 1-2 there with Loudrup, and there's a bit of anger being shown. Leighton's furious, but Gascoigne played the 1-2 with Loudrup. Just fed it through, went for the return. Farrell made a challenge. The referee immediately pointed to the spot, and this could wrap it all up. But Jim Leighton is furious. He's left his goal line. A little 1-2 there, and Gascoigne went down. Farrell made the challenge. It certainly didn't look an awful lot, but Gascoigne's been called over now by the referee. And I think the yellow card was shown there. But there's a lot of arguing going on. The referee had called Gascoigne over. He had walked away. The referee now shows that yellow card. So Gascoigne picks up his 14th yellow card of the season. That's the second time in recent weeks where he's won a penalty. He's been booked, and Jim Leighton's in trouble here as well, because he came racing off his line and started shouting at the referee as well.
Jim obviously wasn't happy with the way Gascoigne reacted either. He got booked for it before. The referee's been consistent, Jerry. He's booked him for the same thing. So it's consistency.
Well, it's going to be Loudrup to take this one. It was Gascoigne who took it last week, but perhaps not in the frame of mind. It's Loudrup who starts his run, and he makes an expert job of it. It's Hibs 0, Rangers 2. Rangers are very much in the driving seat again, not just in this match, but in the championship race itself. And surely now they'll tie up the 3 points for this afternoon. A finely struck penalty by Loudrup.
Yeah, it was a good penalty by Loudrup. It was a marvellous move by Rangers. They broke in Hibs. Gascoigne made a 60-yard run to get involved in the play. With a nice 1-2, it was a definite penalty kick. And Rangers now look comfortable.
That will take a lot of pressure, you would imagine, off the Rangers defence. Just want to batten down the hatches for a few minutes now, and let Hibs get used to this. But Hibs will want to get something back quickly instead of a grandstand finish. So there's the scoreline: Hibernian 0, Rangers 2. Just over 72 minutes of the match played. But Loudrup and Gascoigne creating the opening. Farrell made the challenge. The referee was right in line with it, and he had no hesitation.
And that was the one thing about the referee's position was outstanding. He was in clear view of the incident itself. Caught up with play well, actually. So he was spot on.
So the long one now from Gordon Petric. And that strikes the arm there of Anderson. The referee again waves play on, indicating that the ball had played the man. Nice little header there from Michael O'Neill. Now it's Darren Jackson. Long one forward, but Petric is there. Again, he's under pressure. Played through by Farrell. Keith Wright's there again. And Petric clears.
Disappointing time for Hibs, because they were pressurising Rangers. Most of it was from set plays, but they had dragged the tempo in the second half. But unfortunately, in the first half, to be one behind, it's a big blow for them.
So just as Hibs were starting to look like doing something in the first half, they're hit by an own goal. Second half to start well, and hit by a penalty. And here come Rangers again. But Loudrup tried to thread that one through to Anderson, but he's definitely taking time to settle. And it's not surprising, such a frantic afternoon. And this is Darren Jackson now for Hibernian. Played through by Mitchell. This is Moore. Loudrup. Well, Loudrup has made an outstanding contribution this afternoon. He's been involved in both goals, and he's shown a tremendous appetite for the game. He's been all over the pitch. Here he is again, a delightful little dummy there, and taking Michael O'Neill right out of the game. But a stumble there, and that allows Hibs to start pushing forward again through Darren Jackson. Pat McGinley signals for it. Here he is. Willie Miller's running in support. Play through now to Mickey Weir. John Brown makes a challenge there. This is Miller. Switch of play by him now out to Graham Mitchell. But he plays it into an area where there's no Hibernian player, and John Brown will be happy just to let that one run behind for the goal kick.
Well, the marvellous thing about Loudrup, Jerry, I mean, his performance has been outstanding. Everything's been in view today, his skill, his passing, his awareness, the whole range of skills has been shown today. I think 5 minutes ago you touched and he looks as if he's feeling the pace. He's got this style as if he looks as if he's tired. He looks as if he's lazy sometimes, and suddenly he's got this lovely 5-yard burst of pace, and suddenly he's creating danger in every defence. Tremendous talent.
And showed great composure from the penalty spot. Still Hibs are battling hard here, but it's looking more and more a lost cause for them. Gareth Evans, seems to be getting ready on the far side. He's certainly a player with pace that cause Rangers a problem or two, but at the moment they're very much in control, leading by 2-0. Mitchell own goal in the first half, and then a Loudrup penalty in this second half. So the Rangers fans just behind Jim Leighton are in full cry. There's somebody on the pitch now, and this is an unfortunate happening that the police are getting very quickly involved. Andy Gorham there had to take some action. Well, this is a most unfortunate situation. Fan running onto the field, and the police reacting quickly. Well, the ball was up at the other end of the field, being gathered by Jim Leighton, and someone ran onto the field there to have a go at Andy Gorham. Certainly a sad thing to see.
So it's absolutely pathetic. It doesn't just ruin the name of football, it ruins the reputation that all the Scottish supporters throughout the country get. They gather as having good humour and enjoying their football. Some clown who comes on and does this.
Well, this game going out live to the likes of Canada this afternoon, and that will certainly not impress the wide watching public. A fan running onto the field to attack a player. So the referee will be anxious to get the game restarted. But there's going to be the change made now. Mickey Weir is leaving the field, and Gareth Evans is coming on. So hopefully we can get on with the game of football now. Mickey Weir, who worked so hard throughout this match for Hibs, has made his final contribution, and now it'll be left to Gareth Evans to support Keith Wright through the middle, and I hope that his pace can cause one or two problems. Here he is trying to get forward, and immediately
he's misjudged that.
He makes a mark. He gets the free kick conceded by Alan McLaren. Well, Evans is a player who's come off the bench so many times and made a good contribution for Hibs. He gets him the free kick, and inevitably McLaughlin and Tweed have moved forward. Played out in their direction. It was Petric who rose above them all there. He did well. Now it's Gascoigne. Played through for Loudrup. Anderson goes through the middle. Charlie Miller's there as well if required. Craig Moore's arriving. Still it's Loudrup. Now it's Anderson. Drives it through. But the sting was taken out of that one by Willie Miller. And Leighton wastes no time. The high one forward. It's returned by Petric. Picked up now by McCall. This is Gascoigne. Robertson starts a run. And again, Gascoigne just takes his time about things. Looks around. Picks out Loudrup. McCall to Brown. That's Robertson. Brown holds off the challenges, does well. It's McCall. Brown again. Rangers content to knock it about. McLaren was almost caught there by Evans. Now it's Gascoigne holding off Farrell. Laudrup. Petric. Rocks on the far side there, screaming at his own players. And Walter Smith there.
In particular, Petric. I think they must drive him crazy at times because he is such a good quality passer at times. But today again, he's looked a bit uncomfortable on the ball at times. That must drive him crazy.
The referee's going over to have a word with the Rangers management team. McCoist as ever sees the right side of everything. Switch of play by Tweed. It's picked up now by Willie Miller. Through for McGinley. Shadowed by Brown. Miller again. Evans. Play through by McGinley, and that comes off Robertson for the corner to Hibernian. Well, Hibs have worked so hard, they've had no reward so far, and time is running away from them. Just under 10 minutes left, and they're trailing by 2-0. And the best hope has come from the set pieces, but Petric gets that one away, only as far as Farrell though. It's played in by Darren Jackson, and cool play by John Brown. And once again, John Brown has come on this afternoon and done a fine job.
Excellent. Brown's been excellent again since he came on. McLaren's been outstanding again. And of course, Gorham. Always relying on him.
Well, Anderson lost out again there, and what a baptism for him. A frantic game, as we've said, and against two very tall defenders in McLaughlin and Tweed. Yeah. So, and you know, playing for a large part of the match, very much on his own. So it's been a difficult day for him, but it's a difficult day for Hibs as well, as they chase a place in Europe, and looks like for the third time this season they're going under to Rangers, who have got themselves a free kick. Keith Wright, the offender. McLaren was in the end of that one. Well, before today, Rangers had won their previous 5 away matches, and the last time they dropped a point away from home was the New Year draw with Celtic. So it's a tremendous run by them. They're undefeated away in domestic football now for some 10 months. And once again, they look more than capable this afternoon of holding on to that record and setting themselves up now for the Old Firm game in a fortnight's time. That's the next league business, and they'll be going into that if they hold this lead against Celtic with a 3-point cushion and a superior goal difference. That goal difference has now gone to 13 if you include today's couple of goals. So it puts them in a fairly healthy position for the run-in. They could afford a stumble against Celtic and still have their noses in front. And in fact, Rangers have held that top spot all season, apart from just the 1 week when Celtic moved to the top back in September. So they're certainly looking good for championship number 8 and their 9th in 10 years. And they've had to battle here this afternoon, but once again they've shown that they're up to that battle. When the crunch comes, they always tend to respond, and that's also been a case in Old Firm matches over recent years as well. They've won all the important matches against Celtic. And here they come again now, looking for more. It's Gascoigne! Right across the face of goal, and out for the throw-in on the far side.
They're just totally in control now, Rangers. It's a good pass, great run from Gascoigne, good touch. And again, he's asking what his forwards to get and put that in the net. Probably over the next few weeks you'll see Anderson getting used to them.
But just a worry on the horizon for them, the suspension of Robertson coming up, and depending on how bad the injury is to Richard Goff. But, John Brown being a bit over-enthusiastic. And Hibs quickly take the free kick. It's Farrell. Well cut out by Laudrup, playing it through, looking for Anderson. Tweed's in there just ahead of him. But But lightning reflexes there from Laudrup as Farrell tried to play that one across. So Ali McCoist, now I see on the far side, is getting ready to come on. Gascoigne challenges, bounces the referee. In comes McLaughlin now for Hibernian. Darren Jackson playing it across. It's picked up now by Willie Miller. Cut out by Brown. Away by Gascoigne. Here's Anderson. Header from Tweed. Miller's there. Through now looking for Gareth Evans. And it was Charlie Miller who made the challenge. And Gareth Evans didn't even bother to give chase here. He just looked over towards the referee. He was right on the edge of the area. But the referee wasn't interested. Challenge going in there from Charlie Miller. Inside the last 5 minutes of the match, Rangers leading by 2-0, an own goal by Mitchell in the 30th minute of the first half. Then Laudrup from the penalty spot after Gascoigne had been fouled. And that's the story of the afternoon. But part of that story has been a battling performance by Hibs. And now Ali McCoist is coming on, and Anderson is leaving the field to huge applause. I'm not quite sure the Rangers fans here appreciate the difficult task he's had this afternoon.
Yeah, he's had a real difficult job. His first game in Scotland. Suddenly to get adjusted to the pace, playing a role through the central role on his own. And when you've got people like Laudrup in particular, who love to be so individual, great talent, you'll be disappointed he hasn't come off with a goal, but he's worked hard for Rangers. He looks as if he's capable of doing things. Good mobility and decent in the air. And I think over the next few weeks you'll gradually see him getting adjusted.
So Hibs have important matches coming up against Hearts and Aberdeen, both away from home as they chase a European spot, and they'll have to switch their attentions there. At the moment it would appear to be about consolation unless they can pull off the proverbial miracle. But time is running away quickly. This is Joe McLaughlin. Miller's wide, having to backtrack for that one up. There's McCoist making his first challenge, and Miller's not amused. Free kick obviously awarded. Just lunging in there, the Rangers striker. And angry response initially from Miller, but they calmed themselves down quickly. And he fires in the free kick. Keith Wright is still up there, but an easy one in the end for Andy Gorham. It's played through by Tweed. McLaren's penalised. Keith Wright was challenging him. Hibs have the free kick. Quickly taken by Farrell. Across now to Willie Miller. Just a couple of minutes left plus any stoppage time. It's Gareth Evans. That's a good ball by him there. A quick turn and put McLaren under pressure, but again he responded. Another outstanding performance from him. Of course, Alan McLaren visited this ground on many an occasion in the colours of Hearts, where he spent 7.5 years. Here comes the cross, and Andy Gorham there again manages to claw it away. Well, Andy Gorham again does well. And another corner to Hibernian. They're still battling hard here, but it's Gascoigne now, and the break's very much on, and Ali McCoist has a lot of space out on the left-hand side. It's played forward for Laudrup. If he can get the early ball in here, that'll be another one, but it's too close to Jim Leighton. Ali McCoist and David Robertson have made good runs. It just required a similar kind of ball from the one Brian McLaughlin put in yesterday. But Parkhead. The high one there was easily flipped out of the air by Jim Leighton. Now it's a call to Gascoigne.
I think the interesting thing about that cross, Jerry, was not the cross itself. If the ball would have went to David Roberts, and McCoist would have been pushing him out of the way.
So forward come Hibs now from this final minute. Looking for some consolation, but Andy Gorham is in the right spot yet again. Michael O'Neill, it was, who struck the shot, getting away from the challenge of Craig Moore, and right at the Rangers keeper. Well, Lily McCoist, despite his injury problems this season, has still managed to score well. He's got 15 goals, and he's never managed to string more than 4 games together, so it shows you the kind of difficult season he's had. But again, he's still made a contribution in terms of goal scoring, and he's through the middle again, looking for this ball. So too is Gascoigne.
He's got a marvellous record, McCoist. I think he's got 12 league goals and 13 starts, which is incredible. Nearly a goal a game for a guy who, as you say, hasn't played more than 4 games in a trot. I mean, it's getting to another great, exciting stage where the old firm Celtic, great credit to them for hanging in. They must get frustrated every time they see Rangers pick up another 3 points on a Sunday, but they're playing tremendously well, and it's going to be a tremendous run into the end of the season there.
Of course, Celtic are going to face us in a few weeks' time when the game against Aberdeen is moved to the Monday night. Rangers will have played before them, so it'll be interesting to see how Celtic cope the way Rangers have had to in the last couple of weeks.
Exactly, yes, it will be. But again, great credit to Celtic, because they did this in the past when they had a couple of 4 away games.
So here come Hibs now, and once again, well, Andy Gorham manages to scrape that one away. He's going to pick it up and thought better of it. That game I mentioned, the Celtic-Aberdeen match at Celtic Park on April the 1st with an 8 o'clock kick-off, is one we'll be showing you here on Scottish television. There'll be other live games coming up between now and the end of the season. And this is the most exciting run-in years. Here's Darren Jackson now trying one, but again, it's not a problem for Andy Gorham. So we're well into stoppage time here at Easter Road. And another 3 valuable points for Rangers. Celtic must wonder what they have to do. I remember Rangers losing a championship years ago when they'd lost just to 1 game. Celtic have lost just 1 so far, but Rangers in the driving seat, and they're still driving forward. And it's Laudrup lifting it over there. That would have been some goal.
That would just sheer class. That would have just finished off the perfect day for Laudrup. He looks up, decides to try and flick it over Jim Leighton. I think a lot of people would probably look at this and say, I wonder if he meant it. Well, for me, he's definitely meant it. This is Laudrup. Great vision, awareness. That's beautiful talent.
And the final whistle sounds. Rangers celebrate again. And there's the man who made it happen for them this afternoon. A brilliant game by Laudrup. He was involved in the first goal. It was an own goal by Mitchell, but great skill by Laudrup to create the situation. And then he played a nice one too with Gascoigne. He was consoling his old mate Darren Jackson there. Gascoigne went down, Rangers got the penalty, and Laudrup made no mistake. The final score here at Easter Road is Hibernian 0, Rangers 2.
Yeah, and that means the gap at the top of the championship is back to 3 points. A great result for Rangers. Join us after this break for post-match reaction. And remember, put your views on the game to the forum. Call now on 0500 404 000. Welcome back. Rangers beat Hibs 2-0 at Easter Road this afternoon, and Paul is at Easter Road with Brian Laudrup.
Yeah, man of the match, Brian Laudrup. Could you enjoy it this afternoon? It was a real scrap.
Well, yeah, but it was very, very important for Rangers to win this game, and we're very delighted about the 3 points we got that set us up for the Old Firm derby in 2 weeks' time, and obviously we're delighted.
What about that first goal where you went in one of those solo runs and the pace on the ball gave Graham Mitchell a kind of difficult time?
Well, yeah, I was a little bit surprised that I could take 2 or 3 players on because the pitch was very difficult to play on today, but I had a wee bit of luck as well, and fortunately for Rangers, we got 1-0 up.
Now, the penalty last weekend, Gaza took it. Was there any discussion then before the match?
Not at all. I just took the ball as soon as I saw we got the penalty. I was a little bit surprised that Coista didn't take it, but then I found out he was on the bench, so that was the reason.
This match had everything. Andy Goram's got some treatment there, an incident with a fan. And Richard Goughlin using him, I believe it's a calf knock.
Well, yeah, hopefully we'll get our good captain back in 2 weeks' time, because he's very important for our team. But as I said, we won the game at the end of the day, and we're delighted.
And you almost got a second just near the end. I think we can see that there. Some great skill from you.
I got a ball through from Gaza, and then it was a little bit a different angle to shoot from, and I tried to chip it, and unfortunately it went not in the goal, but past the post.
As you say, the cup next weekend, but in 2 weeks' time, Celtic, you're 3 points ahead again. How do you feel for that match?
Well, I think we fell a little bit under pressure before the game. Now we are delighted, and we're looking forward to this game. We are playing at Ibrox, and hopefully we can turn on the performance we did today.
Brian, thanks for joining us. Congratulations this afternoon. Brian Laudrup there, man of the match. Don't forget then, you can call into the Scott Sport Forum. Charlie and Jerry will be heading over to our position. 0500 404 000. The calls, as always, are free. 0500 404 000. Get dialing now.
OK, Paul. Jim, the penalty incident in the second half, a controversial moment. Would you have given it, and was it a penalty?
Yeah, well, I think it was a penalty, Jim. Basically, Alec Miller had obviously deployed Farrell in the middle of the park to man mark Gascoigne.
Yeah.
If you see here, when the 1-2 was played, Farrell made no attempt whatsoever. His only intention was to block Gascoigne's run, which he did successfully.
And look at this. I mean, this was ridiculous. Now, Gascoigne felt that he shouldn't have been booked. There also is a fair bit of mouthing going on. You're saying that they were booked because they adopted an aggressive manner?
It appeared to me that Leighton was obviously very unhappy with... Gascoigne went down in instalments, it has to be said, but I think technically it was a penalty kick.
Yeah.
Leighton has reacted to Gascoigne's
Leighton fired him
tumble,
up, didn't he? Yeah.
and has come out and has given Gascoigne a piece of his mind. And Gascoigne has retaliated in a similar vein, and that has resulted in both players being cautioned for adopting an aggressive attitude.
Which brings with it a penalty of 3 points.
3 points, which is quite significant.
And it nudges Gascoigne further along, doesn't it? I mean, you have to feel for him in that situation, Ali.
I felt it was two harsh decisions. You know, first of all, I didn't think it was a penalty. I think if you're giving penalties for those kind of challenges in the box, then you've got 10 a game. I didn't think Gascoigne was going to get on the end of the 1-2, and the booking was a wee bit harsh as well.
Well, Laudrup stepped up.
You might be surprised to hear that I did think it was a penalty.
You did?
Oh, that's a surprise.
Well, Brian Laudrup took it, and he made a good job of it. He said, you know, he just wanted the ball, and he took it immediately.
Yeah.
He's at the top of his game, Trevor, isn't he?
Yes, that's just typical of how he's playing at the moment. Leighton went the right way, but the power took it past him, and that was an important goal.
Trevor, what about Laudrup's Govan accent?
Yeah, he's definitely a Danish Scot now.
Well, no doubt.